Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for the night, Monday, December 19th, 2016, the holiday edition of Raw from Columbus, Ohio, the home of the Buckeyes. The Raw after Roadblock. So coming after that pay-per-view, just an okay pay-per-view, decent action, felt like a Raw without commercials. Tonight's Raw needed to be something big to come back from that pay-per-view. And well, it was a decent little Raw tonight. Nothing really big happened. You know, I'll do a spoiler alert. No Melina again. Another cheeser. We ever gonna get her or what? But we do have an interesting way to end the Raw with the main event tonight. Really interesting way to end it. You see from my subtitle, we had new tag team belts, new title belts unveiled for the new tag team champions. And we found out the main event, well, the Raw main event for Royal Rumble. And also, you see from the subtitle as well, Strowman go crazy tonight. Explain all that as we get to this review. Now let's get started with KO and Jericho. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, the besties, back together again. There were big woos. We thought the fight they had, an argument, was truly it for them. I think they'll still break up at some point before Jericho leaves, probably after the Rumble. So Owens was bragging about his victory. Well, actually, he didn't actually win the match. He kept the title after Roman got DQ'd when Jericho came in and cold braked Owens to help Roman get DQ'd. That was part of the big woos. So celebrate the victory. We're talking about the holidays. About Santa Claus making a list and checking it twice. Because Jericho says, Santa Claus, you just made the list. Like the KO and Jericho friendship angle's been fun. But they always do things in WWE too much. Like, too much of a good thing. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing. I like the Sasha Charlotte feud. Pushed on a little bit too long. Especially the hot potato didn't help. And KO Jericho friendship angle also overstaying its welcome. It's more about Jericho and Owens. So as they were talking about Santa Claus, Mick Foley came out. Talking about the fact that there will be a tag team match tonight between Owens and Jericho and Roman Reigns and Rollins. Thus, squashing any rumors about Roman Reigns winning the title tonight. There's a little bit of rumor about a title match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens happening tonight. They almost did like they did at TLC last year. Roman lost at TLC. The next night on Raw, he wins the title. There's rumors about that happening. And there was even more rumors about a cage being involved. Because from the fans' point of view, there was a shark cage up on the top of the arena. Well, that kind of match will happen at the Royal Rumble. That title match will be Roman Reigns taking on Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship yet again. This time, so Jericho won't get involved in any way, shape, or form. He will be punched up in a shark cage, 20 feet above the ring. Or 70 feet, because we're in the Alamo Dome. Now, this is the first time this shark cage has been implemented on the main roster in a long time. They recently brought back this gimmick of having an interference punched upon a cage above the ring, with Paul Ellering recently being punched upon the shark cage above the ring during the Authors of Pain match against TM61 in the final of the Dusty Classic at NXT TakeOver last month. So they're bringing that concept back for the main roster. Now I'm going to say one thing here. Roman Reigns has not defended his U.S. title in a while. I think he defended a couple weeks ago against Jericho, but he almost defends the title almost as much as Dean Ambrose did. Not a lot when Dean was U.S. champion. So I'm surprised Owens didn't defend his title. And surprised that once again, this is just for Owens' title. Even Owens said it last night. Why are you defending your title, woman? Why ain't a title for title? Well, maybe they may make it that in the weeks before the Rumble. And Owens' friend, best friend, Chris was not too happy about the stipulation Mick Foley laid down about the match in the Rumble. And they actually tested it out with Jericho after being punched in the cage above the ring. Despite Jericho not breathing much, he did indeed got himself prepared for the main event. But before we get to the main event, we gotta get to the rest of the card. We had a Roadblock rematch. Rusev against Big Cass. Now we had a count out victory for Rusev last night. And I was like, if they're gonna hype that up just to have a rematch, that match was not necessary at all. I would say the same about tonight's card too. After a little bit of brawling for both guys, Rusev was punched into the corner by Big Cass, and Big Cass was just pounding on Rusev, especially stemming from Lana getting her hands on Enzo last night, causing a count-out victory. And unfortunately for Big Cass, and unfortunately for us having to force to watch this match again, should not have been a match at Roadblock at all. If the purpose of that match was to hype up a match on Raw, especially the fact the Raw match ended in a disqualification. Screw ending again. Because of Big Cass refusing to break at the Hall of 5. So we may have another match between these two on another episode of Raw. This is the feud that never ends. Kind of like Sasha Charlotte. But then later on, after that DQ, probably have a no DQ, no count-out match between these two, the woman match. And hopefully this will end. And it got more weird when Enzo Moe got an informed notice to go to a meeting. A sensitivity class. Or as I like to call it, the Jobbers class. Because you had Bob Backlund and Darren Young, we have not seen in a while. So much for making Darren Young great again. That experiment failed, didn't. Especially if you're up against Titus O'Neil, that failed miserably. Speaking of a feud that never ended, and it finally did. Then Bo Dallas was in there, and Jinder Mahal. A class of people that will probably feature Endeavor next year. And Enzo Amore was in there. In a game of one of these things doesn't belong games. So we had this weird class, and this was going along with it. You know, he and Jinder got a little argument. I thought it would go into an impromptu match. But it may happen next week, especially after what happened after the class. When everyone got their certificates, and Enzo's like, I'd be more sensitive. And of course, he was put in sensitivity class because of the start of the Enzo Rusev Big Cass feud. When Enzo accidentally exposed himself to Lana the night of the Survivor Series. And it was court ordered, apparently, from this storyline. That's why it needs to end bad. And then Jinder wanted a piece of Amore. And then Rusev came out. And the double team was on. They attacked Enzo. Because Big Cass said he was going to be at the club tonight. Enzo was going to join him until he got forced into this sensitivity class. And then Lana came out for insult to injury and slapped the taste out of Enzo's mouth. So at least Rusev has himself a tag team partner in Jinder Mahal. So we can have ourselves tag team matches involving Cass and Enzo instead of just one-on-one matches. That's the only good thing about this whole situation. And going back to the opening segment. Mick Foley. Kind of botches tonight. Especially on commentary and in segments. Mick Foley was talking about the tag team main event tonight. He said, right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wait a minute. We're in Columbus, Foley. Major botch. And Michael Cole botched later on. Saying that, hey, Roman Reigns will challenge Chris Jericho for the Universal Championship. Botch again, Mr. Cole. You botched again. Botch again, Mr. Cole. No wonder why we need Ronaldo. Not your lazy ass. But speaking of, we'll get to some cruiserweight action in a minute, but we had a segment involving Sasha Banks. Now, the hot potato game unfortunately continued as Charlotte's pay-per-view streak continues 15-0. She's trying to think she's the Undertaker or something. I love both these women, but it's like the hot potato is ruining the feud. I even looked on Wikipedia, and they had 8 title reigns the entire year with both these two women, going back and forth. So, Sasha came out with a knee clutch after being taken out. Like, the Iron Woman match was great. It's Iron Woman match. They should make that a war now. Name every match that's an Iron Man match with women Iron Woman. They didn't learn from the first one. The first one was better. Bayley and Sasha was great. Sasha Charlotte was good, but not as good. The crowd was dead. It was slow going at spots. Should have picked up the face a little faster. So we had Sasha Banks wanted to applaud Charlotte. Then Nia Jax came out and took her out. Now, the only good thing about the Sasha Charlotte ending for a while, the feud ending for a little bit, is more women get a chance to shine and get pushed. Nia Jax has been seen a lot. And she took out Sasha's great segment to build her up to get pushed up more now that Sasha Charlotte's pushed to the side for now. And a lot of people would take in charge of Sasha Charlotte. But we had next situation, matchup. We had Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar. And this is cool. They had Austin Aries on commentary along with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. I almost forgot to say that last night. I think I did forget to say that Austin Aries was on commentary last night for the Cruiserweight Championship match. I kind of said this when the division started. I said, maybe they should have Mo and Allo come on Raw to commentate the matches with the Raw guys. Kind of like what they did with Mike Tenay in WCW for the Cruiserweight matches. They would always have Mike Tenay only for the Cruiserweight matches. Well, they're all doing that kind of situation, having one guy from 205 Live commentate the Raw Cruiserweight matches. But it's Austin Aries. That's awesome. If you have Cedric Alexander against Noam Dar, and apparently to get Cedric over with the fans and more character to him, he's being paired up with Alicia Fox and this little love triangle thing they're trying to build with Noam Dar. I like Noam Dar, but it's not the way to get both these guys over involving a girl. Sometimes some guys don't need a girl to get themselves over. That was Summer Murray being paired up with Tyler Breeze, who didn't need that bitch. But he did take one of some ways old bitches, Fandango, and made a fun tag team out of it. Breezango. So these are a little matchup with Alicia Fox cheering on her boyfriend. Noam Dar coming in with some big moves. Big elbows and kicks until Cedric Alexander got going with his big moves. He didn't do a standing splash, but he got the crowd over. He missed the foot stomp and then banged the big kicks from Alexander, leading up to the lumbar check and the 1-2-3 victory for Cedric. But Noam Dar wasn't done. Noam Dar beat Cedric a couple weeks ago. Cedric won tonight, so they're kind of even. Not exactly, Noam said. Saying, all I want for Christmas is Foxy, basically. So this little feud continues on. The Cruiserweight division needs to amp up a little bit. At least they're spicing it up with a recent heel turn. I'll get to that. But now on with the new WWE World Tag Team Champions of the world. Cesaro and Sheamus getting new belts. Not only they knew they got Nikki Bella last night by immediately losing the titles after breaking the record. That's what happened to Nikki Bella. She broke the record on Raw. The next pay-per-view, a couple days later, she immediately lost the belt. Exactly what happened to New Day. But it also got CM Punk'd. They got new belts right after they lost them. And to be honest, I love the new tag belts. Yes, they are red belts. Kind of like the Universal title. But guess what? It's not as ugly as the Universal title. And not as ugly as the old tag team titles. They almost resemble the SmackDown titles. SmackDown tag team titles have the kind of same design with the blue strap. And now they have a red strap for the Raw tag team. And they actually look good. They look good on Sheamus and Cesaro. But they would look a lot more better especially in their holiday gear, on the New Day, who came out solemnly talking about the better team won. Now, I've said this last night in my review about talking about streaks, about Charlotte's pay-per-view streak, but who should end her pay-per-view streak? It should be Bayley. That feud would reignite tonight. And I'll get to that. But the streak of the Taker should be ended by others than Lesnar. And a lot of people would have loved to have seen the club beat the New Day's reign and their streak. But since all Sheamus, a makeshift team, it was still fun to see them win. And New Day was like, we're not down because you know why? We can be 3-time champs. Because a lot of great champions have to lose sometimes. Because Ric Flair didn't just become 16-time champion. Like, for him to be a 16-time champion, he had to lose 15 times. And the moment of the night, one of the best moments of the night, when Big E retorted, that'll be Charlotte in a month. Burn! If one of your own superstars is making fun of the hot potato, something is fucking wrong. One of your superstars is making fun of the fact they fucking hot potato the title between Sasha and Charlotte. WWE, we love Sasha and Charlotte, but the hot potato is driving us nuts. If you have one of your own superstars make fun of it by burning Charlotte, by saying she'll be a 15-time champion in a month, and guess what? That could happen the way they're playing hot potato with the fucking title. You know what I mean? When your own superstars is making fun of it. One that had himself and Sasha in a photo with Black Brilliance. I know a lot of people are mad about that. Insensitive people. And only one black guy has a title now. That's, of course, Rich Swann. So as New Day was talking about getting the titles back, in burning Charlotte, that was an awesome burn. Sick burn. Here comes the new tag team champions, Cesaro and Sheamus. Talk about how they got to end the reign of New Day. They had a little argument. And you know what? They don't have a team name. Which I'm glad they don't have a team name yet. Like a Team Hell No. Or Team Shame Zolo. It could be called Team Yay! Nay! It was exampled. Well, Team Yay Boo! It was exampled by them saying, Cesaro, yay! Sheamus, boo! Get it? Yay, boo! And then the club came out, saying that you got a bunch of nerds in that ring, and we want to prove that we're better than you nerds. And then Shiny Stars came out for some reason, saying they want a shot at a little brawl, which led to an impromptu 8-man tag, involving the new champs and the former champs, the New Day, with Cesaro and Sheamus taking on the club and the Shining Stars. In a decent 8-man tag. With Cesaro and Sheamus' team looking strong, destroying Epico and Primo until the tag into the club started off first, and they looked dominant in this matchup early until they got the Shining Stars in. It basically got destroyed. With Big E taking out the club, and then Sheamus is all in on the West, with Cesaro taking out one of the members of the team with White Noise, and then Cesaro doing the swing. At one point, after Epico got broke kicked, the swing on Epico, and Epico was put in the sharpshooter and tapped out. The victory going to the babyface team with a decent fun 8-man tag. But New Day still wants their rematch. They probably will get a rematch. I don't know when they'll get a rematch. They do have that rematch clause. Sasha and Charlotte didn't have a rematch clause. That's why the feud is ending. But the rematch clause for New Day is still valid. Probably see that match next week or maybe Royal Rumble. Now, over the next scenario with Neville. One of the only big highlights of Roadblock last night, besides New Day losing, was Neville's return and being put in the Cruiserweight division. Yes, a lot of people were hoping that main roster guys would be able to join the Cruiserweight division. And Neville wasn't in it in the long run. And even Neville was not too happy with his placing And then it was made up by him being thrusted into the Cruiserweight title picture by crashing the scene last night after the triple threat match, which should have been better. It was too damn short. Taking out everybody with a thank you, Neville chant. And I even said in my review that Neville's going to turn this into a, you never supported me. You know, I was down the dumps, my career was down, and you guys did nothing for me. I hate the crowd now. And that's exactly what he did in his promo. Say that I took out the number one contenders. I took out TJ Perkins and his friend Rich Swann, and you guys cheered me. Take your cheers and stick them. I don't need a crowd. I don't need your cheers. It's all about me. I want my spot. I'm not just going to wait for my opportunity. I'm going to fucking take it. Thus here comes Rich Swann, saying that never what happened to you. You were my friend. I was looking up to you. You were an icon. You're the king of the cruiserweights. Well, that's what he called himself. Neville did. Then D. Brian Kelly came out saying that, hey, when the cruiserweight division started, you were one of the guys I wanted to see in this division. And I respect you. Unlike Rich Swann, there's no respect at all. And I'm glad Neville's getting a little push. Ever since he got debuted last year, you know, he had a couple of breaks. He got injured before Mania. He was supposed to be in the IC title ladder match until he got injured. Then Zack Ryder replaced him and ended up winning the title. That might have been Neville. But anyway, nice to see Neville after a couple of bad situations getting a little bit of a push with his positioning here. And then the beatdown was on. And then TJ Perkins made the save. I thought we have a tag team match. But I thought to myself, they need a match for 205 next. You know, tomorrow night. And yes, it will be a tag team match with Swann and Perkins against Kendrick and Neville on 205 Live, which I'm loving that show. I hope Detroit, because that's what SmackDown is tomorrow. I'm not going to it, though. I'm waiting for pay-per-view to come to Detroit. A Big 4 pay-per-view, not a branded pay-per-view. Because I know SmackDown's in Detroit. They're probably going to announce when they're in Detroit next at the SmackDown. I hope Detroit crowd is good for 205 Live tomorrow night at SmackDown. So, and speaking of a guy who should be in the Cruiserweight division, Sin Cara was in a match against Titus O'Neil. Until he got interrupted by Braun Strowman. So theme throughout the evening. Braun was not too happy about not exactly losing to Sami Zayn last night. After Sami survived all 10 minutes of their match. And he told Foley he wanted Sami Zayn tonight. But Sami got the night off. So he started beating up everybody in the back. And then went on to beat up both Sin Cara and Titus O'Neil in this matchup. It's sad to see, like, they're doing right with some guys, with, you know, pushing Neville, yet they're basically feeding Sin Cara yet again to Braun Strowman. They had a little series of matches earlier, a couple months ago, but now Sin Cara got destroyed, got thrown off the stage onto a pile of gifts off the stage. Strowman started throwing Christmas trees. He was not too happy. And as we would see later on, this will not be the last we would see of Strowman destroying matches. Now on to our next segment involving Charlotte, celebrating a victory. Now some would say Charlotte's been overrated, especially the way WWE's shoving her down our throats with the title changes. People comparing her to being the John Cena of the women's division and the Roman Reigns of the women's division. The women being shoved down our throats. And I've been applauding Charlotte's work for a long time. She's an awesome heel and a great worker. And she was such a great heel. Talk about comparing herself to other women, saying that I would have worked in any era. Maybe against Trish, but maybe not against Moolah in her time. And in such a heel, she was like, I can't wait to see Clemson beat Ohio State in the playoffs. And guess what? She wasn't just saying that just to get heel heat. That's an actual true statement. Because as diehard fans know, Ric Flair, Charlotte's dad, is a Michigan guy. And so am I. Go Blue! Go Blue, baby. So as Charlotte was talking about dominating Sasha Banks in the Iron Woman match, the woman who was in the very first Iron Woman match barely came out to interrupt to finally start the feud we thought we were gonna get at the Survivor Series. Bayley and Charlotte. Of course, we saw Bayley getting beat down by Charlotte after both women were the survivors of the Raw SmackDown Women's Survivor Series match. Bayley got the win. You know, she got the pin, but Charlotte was not too happy. We thought it would be a Charlotte-Bayley feud, but then we had the last bit of the Sasha-Charlotte feud to go with. And now with them over for now, we can finally get the Bayley-Charlotte feud underway. And we got underway with a non-title match. I think they've wrestled on Raw a couple times. And of course, obviously, NXT. It's a pretty fun match. For both these women, crowd's more into it than an Iron Women match. Who would have thought a shorter women's match that's shorter than 35 minutes would get the crowd more hyped than the Iron Women match last night? Sad. Anyway, fun match. These two had a great exchange. Charlotte looking good early on. Despite being in that Iron Women match, to see her wrestle the night after that is amazing. You know, try to go for a big moves, natural selection. It's a big X. I love the hand scissor thing she does. But despite overpowering Bayley, the ultimate underdog of the women's division, who's getting a big push. I'm glad that now that Sasha Charlotte is done, other women can get a chance to shine. With Nia Jax looking good early on, and of course Bayley looking really good in this matchup as well. They were the big splashes, the big elbows. But despite all the rallying, Charlotte would come flying back with her own assault. But then again, she got caught. Bayley caught Charlotte with a roll-up. 1, 2, 3. Bayley wins a non-title match against Charlotte, which will probably lead off with a match at the Royal Rumble, especially with a little bit of controversy. Bayley pinned Charlotte, but Charlotte's right shoulder, and I kind of saw that too, I need to see that again. Charlotte's shoulder was up. It was off the mat as the ref counted 3. So this is how they're going to start the Bayley-Charlotte feud instead of a match for the Royal Rumble. Charlotte saying, I never lost a match. My shoulder was up. Referee didn't see it. That'll be the catalyst for this feud really heating up and leading, like I said, to a Royal Rumble match. At least we're going to get a better Royal Rumble Women's title match because I liked Becky and Charlotte at this year's Rumble. Minus Ric Flair shenanigans. But at least now that Flair's out of the system, we thought Flair would show up last night at Roadblock, but he didn't, thank goodness. So, with Flair out of the way, we're going to get a single women's match, and it should be a decent one at the Royal Rumble. And this is the catalyst for that match happening. On to our main event. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins teaming up against Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. I thought we had this tag team match last week, when we kind of did. But they added the New Day to make it a title match. So now tonight we have this tag team match. With the besties being on the best behavior as they really isolated the hell out of both men when they tagged in and out. In a fun, decent tag team main event until the ending. Reigns and Jericho got off a little bit. And of course, Owens got in, did a cannonball splash. Attempted a frog splash at one point in the matchup, especially when Rollins got tagged in, and Rollins blocked it. Various exchanges. All 4 guys had a chance to exchange each other. Reigns and Owens had a little battle, even on the outside, when Roman did a drive-by as a preview for the Rumble match. The match at Rumble wasn't that bad until the ending. And now with Jericho above the ring in a cage, we're going to finally get a definitive ending. And Owens can finally win without Jericho interfering. Like, I love Jericho, friend, but we need the badass Owen again. We need the NXT Kevin Owens to come back. Not the pussy Kevin Owens to portray him to be. Kevin Owens is cool, but not too much. Like I said, too much of a good thing. There is such a thing as that. And WWE likes to really exploit good things when everyone gets sick of it. Like Sasha, Charlotte, and now Jericho and Owens. So, and the big exchanges between everybody, with Owens doing some big things, and then Rollins getting tagged in, setting a pedigree at one point to Jericho again for a period of time, thank God. Little exchanges leading up to the walls of Jericho at one point. And even Rollins in a blockbuster on the Owens. It was a very intense tag team matchup. And as Rollins and Jericho were battling it up, they were both laid out in the ring. Both guys need to make that tag to their partners. After Jericho blocked the frog splash, and then they led to the walls of Jericho, and Rollins got to that rope. And as both Owens and Rollins' friend Reigns was about to get tagged in, for some reason Braun Strowman returns. Knocks Roman off the apron, takes him down, disqualification. At least we get to finally see Kevin Owens not get laid out again. And we didn't see Kevin Owens get pinned by anybody. Or Jericho get pinned again. So at least it protects them. It's the only good thing. So it's interesting to see Strowman come out and lay out both Reigns and Rollins with Owens and Jericho staying out of the way. Strowman said he wanted Sami or else. Well, he destroyed security backstage, destroyed Sin Cara, and now, tonight, he destroyed Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Guy doesn't need a push, but hey, they're trying to push him. His 10-minute match against Zayn wasn't that bad, but he still needs some work to improve on having better long matches. Because some guys, when they have squash matches, when they go up to longer matches, their weaknesses get really exposed. That's what happened to Baron Corbin, but he got better in longer matches, especially recently with Kalisto. So that's how he ended Raw, with Braun Strowman standing tall on both Rollins and Reigns, a polar opposite of how he ended the pay-per-view. It's interesting to have Reigns and Owens, since enemy Rollins, both guys get laid out, not by Owens and Jericho, but by Strowman. Interesting way to end the show, with Strowman being the one laying out the faces. At least it gives a big little push. You know, he gets to take out 2 main eventers, which could lead to a 6-man tag with Sami Zayn. Hopefully, for storyline's sake, Sami Zayn returns next week and takes a match against Strowman, so Strowman won't take out anybody else on the Raw roster. Kind of like Samoa Joe did to the NXT roster until he got Nakamura in the rematch at NXT Toronto, which he would eventually win to lose the title in Japan. Now, that's hot potato, but guess what? We don't complain about that because at least Nakamura and Joe did it hot potato every 3 fucking weeks, like Sasha and Charlotte have. So there you go. There's it for my Raw review. This is probably my final video before Christmas. I'm probably not going to get a tag live for a couple of days, but I'm going to make a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame video. So that'll be probably my last video, is when I give you my thoughts on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees of the class of 17. But it's my last wrestling video before Christmas, of course, next week. The final Raw of 2016. See if it delivers. So these are Little Raw tonight. Got the Rumble match, title match set. And another possible title match being set with Bayley Charlotte, the catalyst being that match tonight. So there you go. With all that being said, and all that in mind, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. See you later, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you. Have a safe one. Bye-bye.